this team is just on the brink of being great. They're held back by squad construction and coaching.
Mostly squad construction, though. But
yeah. And so you're in this weird situation where like you have some of the best players in the world. You should be a clear contender for everything you play in. And yet it feels like we're missing pieces in the squad, and it feels like we're missing the right guidance to lead the ship. And so you're just on the brink, it seems, but there are just several factors holding you back. This really shouldn't be a team in transition the way it is playing right now. It's playing like a team in transition that has just like is overcoming an era, but that shouldn't be the case with the age of our squad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of it too. It feels like we're wasting a really. It honestly feels like we don't care enough to really maximize on this season. It almost feels like we're just accepting with whatever happens with this personnel and this squad, and that's the part that doesn't sit well with me.
Why do you think this is happening, though? Let's go deeper. Is it because the team is investing all its money in the club is investing all its money in the stadium? Because it's happening in the basketball section, by the way, also. So I think I think these financial issues because of the stadium might be the reason why. I don't
think it's that. I think look how much were we willing to spend the 40 million on Lenny Yoro or whatever it was in the summertime? Are we trying to bring in Trent now? I think it's a matter of we're just. Yeah, actually, this is my biggest explanation, Lucas. I think we got away with far too much. And the board got comfortable with getting away with it. Board got lucky with Benzema leaving and not getting replaced because Bellingham turned into Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
The board got lucky. Joselu. Yeah, I mean,
Joselu saved Madrid's season last year.
Yes. Yeah.
Aloni saved Madrid's season last year against Bayern.
Yeah.
How can you possibly expect something like that happening again? Or Asensio, an academy player. Like, it will be like a relatable, a similar comparison, right? Asensio saving your season this year. How can you expect two miracles in a 2-year span? It's just not realistic, man. You, as you mentioned, I think you put it perfectly. You hit the nail when you said that Real Madrid have been getting away with lazy and just poor squad construction for the last few years. Yeah, I completely agree.
Well, and like I said before, if you were pumping out academy talent and giving them time and grooming them, it wouldn't have been such an issue if you're not signing anyone. But if you're not doing both, you're basically just choosing from like two players who can play. Like that's your circle of trust. Like you don't trust anybody else. It doesn't sit well with me how everything is organized. And this is why, like, again, I'll go with blaming the board as my first source of blame. But Ancelotti is right there, like on the second piece of it. I also think it's completely fair to blame people like Tchouaméni, who have been
atrocious,
given so much money and we paid so much for these guys, and this is what the product they're putting out. I put less blame on Lucas Vazquez in part because he's not supposed to be your starting right back. It's not his fault. Yeah, he sucks. Don't get me wrong, but he wouldn't if he was just part of the 23-man squad and he just plays here and there. It's not a problem, but he shouldn't be like. Yeah, he's been horrible, but we shouldn't be blaming a guy who's not even supposed to be on the field.
No, the fact that he's playing and the fact that he's been so relevant and important in this current squad when he's very clearly washed is the board's fault, not his fault. It's not his fault that he's been forced to be on the field. The poor guy is doing his best. I don't think commitment is an issue with Vazquez. I don't think effort is an issue with Vazquez. It's just the fact that he's washed.
I agree.
And he's washed and he's being played because the board won't do anything. So Lucas, if we are all accepting the fact that Vazquez is washed and a big problem in this current Real Madrid squad, we should be blaming the board, not Lucas Vazquez. We can blame players like Tchouaméni, Camavinga's poor decision making yesterday. They all deserve criticism, but they are indeed expected to play a relevant and prominent role in this squad, so they should definitely deserve some criticism. But Vazquez, it's like blaming Mariano 5 years ago when he wasn't
Yeah.
delivering, man.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. It's like blaming Joselu last year. Remember when we were all frustrated with Joselu missing opportunities earlier last year? How can you possibly blame Joselu?
Yeah.
He's poor. We all know who Joselu is as a striker. We know who Lucas Vazquez is as a defender.
Yeah.
He's playing because you're lazy with your squad building and you're cheap with your options in whenever summertime comes. We should not be blaming these guys. Okay, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Mendy, all these other players who are indeed signed and are earning the money and the role to be relevant and be a prominent player in the current squad. Okay, they deserve individual criticism, but Vazquez, come on, man, no, he doesn't deserve any kind of criticism. He's been put in this position because of poor squad managing.
I also just want to go back to blaming Ancelotti for a sec. I think saying that this is not his fault and coming up with not that you're saying that, just generally.
Mm-hmm.
I think like coming up with these excuses for him that the board put him in this position, I think it's a bit of a cop-out. He has no idea what he's doing against Barcelona. No idea. He is getting murdered. I don't care if you have Tchouaméni and Vazquez in your defensive lineup. You lost 9-2 over 2 games. And the only reason it wasn't 15-2 was because of a red card. Your squad is not 10 goals worse than Barcelona over 2 games. No chance. No way that you can get outplayed that badly. Lose the Clásico, fine.
I agree.
This is embarrassing football, man. I don't care who you have on the field. Lucas Vazquez, Tchouaméni, Raúl Asensio. We have Bellingham.
The talent gap, I completely agree. The talent gap isn't this big.
No. You could argue that the 3 best players in the world, not that they're playing like it right now, but Vinny, Mbappe, and Bellingham, they didn't even cross the halfway line. What other manager is getting those 3 unicorns up front to do shit all? Like Carlo has no idea what he's doing against Barca. Zero clue. This whatever that was, that defensive setup, kind of pressing, kind of low block, kind of walking around.
No plan.
There's no plan. There's nothing. And so this is the Carlo cycle, is that he goes through these periods where he just gets blown out, doesn't play well in big games, figure some stuff out, individual brilliance, win a trophy at the end every second season, and then we come back here and have these same conversations.
Until that won't happen. Until Joselu won't score a last-minute goal against Bayern. Then that will happen and Real Madrid season will be over. For sure. Or until Benzema doesn't turn into prime Ronaldo Nazario in that Champions League winning season. Miracles will stop happening. Let's just be realistic, man. It's just someday you won't be able to get away with it, with all the mistakes, with all the lack of plan, with this poor game plan, this poor effort, this lack of complete lack of preparation from the coaching staff. So one day you will not get away with it, and then the season will be over. It's just that simple.